Good morning, guys.
Morning.
And it is Friday, February 20 something.
6th.
26?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm glad that she keeps up with it. I don't. 2015. It's funny that I don't do because I do work every day, even Saturday mornings. But anyways, we thought we'd come on and do a book tag. This one I saw from James Colwell. He's really great. He does all the reviews on the shows and stuff like that, and he also dresses and just fabulous. Us being from Vegas, we would love. It'd be great to have him out in Vegas.
Really?
Just would be so fabulous seeing him do a song and dance type of show. Maybe we'll have to tell him that. But anyways, this tag is called a book tag.
Yeah, we got a book tag. We got some questions here, total of 10, and we'll get started.
Okay.
All right, number 1, favorite 3 books and why?
Okay. First of all, I'm a big Shakespeare fan, so Romeo and Juliet is great because Shakespeare did not write that, but he did put his twists and turns on it. But the fact is that the story is still relevant today. The forbidden love and what that can have you do, even going against your family, even up until till death. You hear about that now. A lot of people break up with somebody and they don't want to be with them, and then that somebody comes and decides to kill everybody because they broke up with them. What else do I like? Gosh, there's so many. I am completely drawing a blank. What about you?
For me, I read a lot of romance and dating things. My first favorite book is Surrender to Love by Adrian Byrd. Great romance novelist. Love the book. It's very deep and rich, and a whole a murder case is going on while a love affair is going on at the same time. My second book is it's an Atlanta series by Deneen Milner. It's about two twins. I forgot the name of the book. Excuse me, but if you look up her name, you'll find it's Deneen Milner. But it's a series about these twins that live in Atlanta. My third favorite book, Their Eyes Are Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. Very good.
That's what I was going to say, too. Is anything Zora Neale Hurston? Zora Neale Hurston was a very famous writer in her time. She came up and got big during the Harlem Renaissance. She was raised in Florida, in a black community down in Florida. She came up to New York. She had sponsors who would pay, for her living expenses so she could write or entertain rich people. She worked with Langston Hughes. She taught university classes in writing and anthropology and reading, and then she did some anthropology research in the South during the Great Depression time when FDR had worked for people. And Langston Hughes, any poem by Langston Hughes, I've done so many of them. They've been fantastic. But I'm a reader, so it's like when you're a reader, you can't think because it's like so many books that you have. But those are probably some of my favorites.
Yeah. Okay. If you read the Bible, what 2 scriptures do you live by and why?
My first one is the 23rd Psalm, because that scripture really gives you this feel of sense and security when you're going through hard times, whether you're creating them by worrying about something or whether something really is going on. So that, and then also, what's my prayer I like? It's really a Bible verse. The prayer of Jabez, and that's in the Bible, and that tells the story of a young man that asked the Lord to send him, if it was his will, more. He really wanted more land so he could look over that and take care of that, and then God blesses him, and what happens from there.
I love the prayer of Jabez. Let me just say, I use that prayer sparingly because I'm telling you, true story, when you say that prayer, especially in the night or whatever it is that you're praying for will happen.
It does happen.
I use that sparingly.
Yeah, and it's not like, let's make a wish type of thing, but it is so strong. It's one of the shortest books in the Bible, and yet it is so incredibly powerful. So
yeah. Me, I'm not a Bible reader, but I'm floaty on the different Bible verses. Like, what's the one about cleaving to your spouse
Okay,
before
right.
marriage?
Hmm.
That one definitely. My second
And
scripture.
that's in the book of Matthews, and I think it's the book of John again, but it's in the New Testament. It's Jesus, parts of his speech on the mount. So,
And definitely uh, don't judge lest ye be judged. I like that one as well. What was one of the first books you ever read as a child?
oh my gosh, this was way back, and I really wanted to read, and I couldn't. I could figure out like the and is and a, and we didn't say the, we said the, by the way. And it was a book about all different types of houses, and then it was like three of them, all different types of houses, all different types of jobs, and all different types of vehicles. And I just had very few words in it. And when I started to be able to read that book, it was like a light bulb turned on, and I was
Really?
probably about 4 or 5.
Mm. For me, Dr. Seuss books was my first. Mom was right here to help me read. Loved the books. Love him as an author. Cat in the Hat. I can remember that was my book. I started learning to
Hmm.
read, and then it was Green Eggs and Ham after that.
And a fly went by.
Yes.
I remember that.
Do you prefer fiction or nonfiction books?
You know what? Actually, I'm working myself into fiction. Although I did mention fictions, I really prefer nonfiction books or anything on spirituality, New Age, metaphysics, um, anything by Abraham Hicks or Dwayne Dreyer, Deepak Chopra. My list actually goes on and on and on. But I like nonfiction.
Me, I'm a fiction reader. Like I said in the beginning, lots of romance novels. I love the fiction. Um, if you could write a book, what would it be about?
Oh my God, if I could get my mind together to sit down and write this book. It was about this murder case that happened in Milwaukee between these two girls fighting over a man who was in jail, and they both had got pregnant and so forth. And it ends up that the one girl um, gets some friends she knew. One was in a halfway house. He was a friend of a friend, and the other one was a boy that she was kind of kicking it with. This is a true story. And they go over to the other girl's house who was with the dude in prison first, and how they committed crime on these people. The girl had 2 or 3 kids. They put bags over their heads, suffocated them. They shot her, burnt her, suffocated her. I mean, they overkilled her. And what was really a twist to it was that the girl that got killed, she was best friends to this girl, and the girl that got killed, her daddy had come back. Her mother and father had broke up. Hold on a second. Her mother and father had broke up, and the daddy came by and went on a stabbing spree, and ended up stabbing the girl, which she was a little girl at that time, and her mother and her grandmother, and killed both of them. And the little girl stood trial as about an 8 or 9 year old to tell the tale that got her daddy locked up. That is a true, honest to God story. Happened in Milwaukee. And in the end, her friend, who was with the dude from the halfway house and this other dude she used to go with that killed the first girl, they killed her. That same day, they killed this girl and her kids. They went to this little motel, the Diamond Motel, right on Fond du Lac. And they went there. They saw her name and stuff on the news. They had gotten some takeout food and everything, and the girl started getting scared the way the boys was tripping and getting high and stuff. And then she had called her mother. She didn't tell her mother where she was, but she told her, if I don't see you anymore, I love you and stuff like that. So the three of them knew they had to run because the police was catching up on them, because all on the news. And they ended up going out like out on Mill Road, like 107 or something or whatever. They went out there, and as the girl was going around the back into the backyard, the dude that used to go with her blew her brains out from the back. She never saw it coming. So that's the book I would like to write.
Yeah, that's
and
super
then
deep.
make it my own, because that is a one hell of a story.
Really. For myself, it would be about the music industry and how it's forever changing. You know, people seem to act like they want to keep up with it, but you cannot. It's always changing.
It
So I would
is.
write about that.
And then how these artists come and go, but they think they're gonna be there
Right.
forever, talking that arrogant mess. They the king of this, or they the best rapper when they can't even freestyle or anything else. Yeah.
Really. Yeah, I can go on and on. Okay, if you could write about your life story, what would the title be and why?
um, Shades of Gray would be the title, and it would be the life of a biracial woman growing up hard and the struggles and the changes I went through and being coming out to be very successful and entrepreneurial and all that.
Nice. Mm, I would say the life of a college girl because I'm a freshman in college and it's a very new experience, and I would want to write about how high school is equivalent to college and there's certain things that they try to teach you that'll prepare you for it. Um, if you could write about something in your life, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's interesting because I always have so many things going on.
Really?
But I think I would write about life in Vegas in the 80s and 90s and all the celebrities that I got a chance to meet and run with and roll within their circle and what they're really like. It'd be funny, it'd be interesting. It might even be disappointing, but that's what I write about.
Me, I would write about my childhood friend Orlando. If you're watching, what's up?
Hey, Lando.
I would write about him and I and our adventures in Wisconsin and how great of friends we were and how quick it was. It was just a summer and we became friends forever. It seemed like. Have you read the entire Bible and how many times?
Oh yes, I have. I was raised in a Christian household, so I went to Lutheran schools during the week. We went to a Lutheran church, and then we'd go after that service was over. We would go to our Baptist church, and I got confirmed, taught Sunday school, vacation Bible school. I was in youth programs, and so a part of all of that requires you to really study the Bible. So I did that. I haven't studied with Jehovah's Witness for a while, so yes, I've gone through the Bible and the whole Bible. I'm gonna say at least 4 or 5 times, where I'm very comfortable looking up books, or I can remember where this or that is. So
Me, I've read it in bits and pieces. I could probably say I've read the whole thing as because I was along with my mom with the Bible studying, so I've read it in its entirety in bits and pieces.
well, let's make it clear because you're making it seem like I'm the holy roller and you're the other girl. No, she was right there with me for all the Bible studying, which I know she said that. And then when we're not with in groups or at our church or whatever, then we're at home and we have our own Bible study.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that we are, like holy rollers or ultra religious like that. Because there's different doctrines or dogmas I don't necessarily, I'm not in line with, or beliefs I'm not necessarily in line with, but it's great for calming you down. It's great if you know how to take what you read and turn it into real life.
I agree. How often do you read books?
All the time. I read all the time, every single day. I I'm a teacher. I have been a principal for a while. Now I'm back to being a teacher. But I teach in a couple of places. I teach homeschool for my daughter through K-12 program. And so we're constantly reading textbooks or novels or what have you. And then I also teach reading and math in the evening time through a teaching Title I program for kids of all ages. But primarily I've been doing second graders, and I'm able to do it online. So then when I'm off of that, I read for myself. I read 2 different newspapers, sometimes 3 different newspapers, the M Live, the Journal Sentinel, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and the Las Vegas Review Journal. and then I read tons of magazine articles or different stories. So I'm always reading.
Yeah, I'm always reading as well. Like I said, college freshman, so I'm always in the books and reading. I like recreational reading, lots of novels, magazines here or there, sometimes online, blogs and stuff like that. But I'm reading all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you could write a book about your days in high school, what would you call it and why? This is the last question, by the way.
You can take that one.
I would honestly, I'll write about my high school situation. I would do a compare and contrast thing between schooling in Las Vegas and schooling in Milwaukee, and how totally different it is. How the people's attitudes are, the teaching strategies, the students. It's totally different.
I would write a book called East Side Girl, and I know that sounds weird, but it would be about my life from working and everything in high school on the East Side or what have you, and then trying to translate that to the West Side, which was completely different aspects of life, and yeah, and how I grew and crossed over into life and womanhood and children from that point on.
Sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was great. That was fun.
Definitely.
We'll do another one later. If you like it, please thumbs up us. We always really need that. It really helps us keep going, keeps us motivated, keeps us on the air. Subscribe, comment, tell us about it, or do one yourself and well, I don't think you can make a video for us anymore, but make a video of your own.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. So thanks, guys. See you later.
See ya.